The reality is that when you put Africa, especially in this case, Africa only, when it comes to green bonds, tap 1%. And that 1% that they tap, actually, they pay back higher. And the reason for this is, first of all, lack of information, and also the democratization of the space in terms of regulatory frameworks, regulatory policies, and also information that gets done to people. And the other aspect that actually is a very crucial thing to look at is when we talk of climate investment, one of the key aspects is to actually turn climate plans into investment plans, because you will not be able to invest in something in which you cannot see return on investment. And this has been the bottleneck when it comes to climate finance that has not actually been looked to most of the time. And I think as we move forward, I will bring another perspective, which is not only to look at the capital market from the green bonds perspective, but also to look at markets that sometimes are not tapped, which are informal sector markets. And you take the case of Africa, they're worth 300 billion US dollars that are not part of the mainstream of climate finance discussion.
Thank you. And Hassan, Dr. Munang mentioned a lot of points there that I think we'll touch upon throughout this session. But just building off of one of those points in particular, the fact that, yes, there's been an explosion in green finance. It's not yet at the level that estimates say is needed to really mitigate these challenges. And on the other hand, within this context, you have the Middle East, which is this year well positioned to help drive the dialogue on climate change, with the UAE hosting COP28 at the end of November. And it's the first time that the region has hosted two back-to-back COPs, with Egypt having hosted COP27 at the end of 2022. And I wanted to ask your perspective, what do you think are the hopes and the expectations for COP28 in the climate finance space?
Wow. Okay, so, I mean, let me just frame this here, okay? Whenever you have innovations, you can actually look to a very interesting economic theory of innovation that says you're going to have the innovators, you're going to have the early adopters, you're going to get the early majority, then you're going to get the late majority, and then the laggards. It's very clear to me from where I see it. Countries like Saudi Arabia and the UAE are innovators, okay? They're leading the charge.